we made sure that the process followed was scientific. We took in inputs from GWMC also when doing this survey, and we ensured that all the data that was captured was timestamped. So there is proof that it cannot be altered. We are sharing you with the report as well. Now the reason for this was to know what is in the mixed garbage that is on the roadside. And when we did this survey, we found that basically half the waste. Now this is the general for all the sites together. The average result is that more than half the waste was non-recyclable waste. Single-use plastics, rubber, shoes, thermocol, these kind of materials. Then the coconut shells was also there. The next most common item in this was the organic component. Now what we realize is many people put mixed waste in the bag, and when they throw these mixed waste, we removed that element and found out that almost 1/4 of the waste was organic. 10% of this waste is sanitary pads and diapers. Now we have a system in Goa, but it is an expensive system, so many people don't want to pay that, so they prefer to throw it on the side of the road. Now after all of this, of course there was recyclables, and we divided the recyclables into three categories: DRS first phase, DRS second phase, and what is not under DRS. So what is under the first phase is aluminium cans, glass bottles and PET bottles. This we found was only 4% of the waste that was there. Then the second phase, what they are proposing is MLP and Tetra Pak. That was around 3% we have found. So altogether, the remaining recyclables like paper, cardboard, hard plastics and all we also quantified. And what we found out is that the waste that is on the street is not really the DRS item waste. So if they do this, go ahead with this program, what will happen is the waste on the road will still remain, the litter will still remain, because it is not part of the DRS program. The aluminium cans and plastic bottle which is there is very little, because aluminium cans, plastic bottles, glass bottles have scrap value. So most people don't throw it in the garbage, they sell it for scrap and they get some money from it. So what we have been saying to the government, we've now got proof. We've got 10 locations where we've done this survey, and we have displayed all the information. We have come up with an interesting looking pie chart which shows color coordinated. The green is the organic waste, grey is the inorganic waste. You can see 75% of the waste is that. And what is red and orange is the DRS related waste. So what we are trying to say is that we would like a relook on the DRS. We are not saying that it is a bad scheme, it can be improved upon. Today what happens is diapers and sanitary pads don't have any value. If it is included in DRS, for example, people will have less incentive to throw it on the ground because it's costing them money. They will send it to the collection points. We also found out that now this is all by percentage, but when we count how many pieces are there, we found multi-layer packaging, chips packets and all is majority of the items in that. Over 1,000 pieces in some places they are found in that 50 kilos. So if MLP was included, it's included in the second phase, but if it was put in the first phase, then we would see some value for that MLP. People will not throw it out. So we have given many other suggestions. I don't know anybody else. The consumer angle is another element. Now we are directly engaging with consumers. Dylan, you want to say something about that?
फिल्टरचे उडयला हे कचऱ्याचे मदतीन DRS स्कीम पळय गव्हर्मेंट येवपाक शकता डिपॉझिट रिफंड स्कीम जे वस्तूचेर तुमी घेतात तेजेर चड घालचें पडटलें पूण तें घालून ते मागीर परत रिफंड करतले पूण तें करून ते म्हणटा आमची ही मेन एम गरज आसा हो कचरो ओपन आसा तो बंद जावप पूण तो जावचो ना कित्याक आमी जे स्टडी केल्या 95% वस्तू हांगा आसा त्यो जेवण, पोतयो, पिशव्यो, that is not covered under DRS. तो DRS ना. So what is the purpose? So तुम्ही जे स्कीम हाडटा ते हे सॉल्व करचे ना. सो हे सॉल्व करपाक आमचे कडेन खूब सजेशन आसा, पूण आमचे कडेन ते नॉर एनी अदर स्टेक होल्डराक तुमी घेतला. सो आमी 2 वर्सां जाली तेंचे कडेन कॉरस्पॉन्डन्स करता, पूण कांय चेंज करूं. सो आमी काय करूंक शकता की द वर्स्ट इफेक्टेड इज गोइंग टू बी द कंज्युमर, म्हणजे घरकान्नी. कित्याक नंबर 1 ही स्कीम घातली की ना पण तुमचो गार्बेज फी इन द म्युनिसिपालिटी डबल जातलो. कित्याक गार्बेज कलेक्टर पण आसा सद्याक 50 to 40% तेजे पयशे येता फ्रॉम पेट बॉटल एंड एल्युमिनियम. ते जर काडले तो पयलो बंद करतले काम. तो म्हटलो म्हाका दिसाक 700 रुपया पगार जाय, तितले म्हाका 300 रुपया हेजे मेळटा, तुमी 300 रुपया तुमी फारीक करा. सो तो गार्बेज फी घेता आनी वयल्यान तुमी हे घालता. आनी ते भायर सेंट्रल गव्हर्मेंटाचे EPR म्हणून स्कीम आसा तेजेर बी पयशे जाता. सो फायनली द कंज्युमर जो 10 वर्सां जडटा म्हयन्याक तेजे 2000 शॉपिंगाचे 500 रुपया तर घेवपाक ताका खूब त्रास आसा. पूण एक करूनय हें जावचें ना क्लीन. सो पर्पज कितें तो आमकां अजून करूंक. द मोस्ट इफेक्टेड इज गोइंग टू बी द कंज्युमर. ठीक आहे, ते हाडले वस्तू दवरले आनी मागीर परत लायनीन रावले ते पयशे रिफंड घेवपाक कितलो टायम गेलो आनी तो कोड चलना जाल्यार ते पयशे गेले. सो इट इज अ रिथिंक हॅज टू बी डन. इंटेंशन बरें, पूण इम्पॉर्टंट कितें म्हाज्या हिसपान जे पळय ऑलरेडी लॉ आसा, बॅन ऑन प्लास्टीक, सिंगल यूज प्लास्टीक, तो इंट्रोड्यूस करा, तो इम्प्लिमेंट करा. बॅन ऑन सिंगल यूज प्लास्टीक इंट्रोड्यूस करा. मागीर बल्क वेस्ट जनरेटर ते हॉटेल जावं कोणें इव्हेंट जे आसा तेंचे रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आसा. तुमी खूब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी घेवं, पूण रस्त्यार पळयात तुमी कोडिंग जावं बल्क वेस्ट जनरेटर जावं ते पिवजून उडयता. ते एड्रेस आजून करूंक ना. एनवायरमेंटली इफ यू गो टू सी आमचे हेल्थाक जावं बरें वारो बरो हें करतले आनी जेवण इफेक्ट ना जाता जाल्यार ते पयले इम्प्लिमेंट करूंक जाय. आनी कशें इम्प्लिमेंट करूंक आमचे कडेन सजेशन आसा. सो DRS इज गुड, बट इट हॅज टू बी ऑल्टर्ड इन अ व्हेरी बिग वे. And there are funds from the government which are being used. We can always talk about it. So our suggestion is come on the force and let us work together to make Goa clean. More importantly, to see that this is gone and our environment is less damaged. Burning becomes less. आमची गायो हे खूब खाता, सुणी खाता, कुत्रे खाता, ते हे बंद जावचें ना. It is a serious concern.
आणि तुमचे कितें क्वेश्चन आसल्यार वी बी हॅपी टू टेक. जस्ट अ ब्रीफ अबाउट आवर ऑर्गनायझेशन. दीस वेस्ट मॅनेजमेंट एसोसिएशन आमी सुरू केला ऑलमोस्ट 5 वर्सां जायत. ही वेस्ट मॅनेजमेंट एसोसिएशन जे आमी चालू ताका ऑलमोस्ट 5 वर्सां आणि वी हॅव ऑलमोस्ट 20 members. The association is comprising of a lot of professionals working in the sector, companies who are managing waste, and also individuals, interested individuals, consultants who are interested to work in the waste management sector. So it is open to all, basically, to be a member. Some criteria we have finalized. We want ethical partners to be a part of this association. There are mostly waste management or business जो असतात आता unorganized activity and industry managing waste in almost 50 to 60 panchayats where they are providing services. So all our experience is actually grassroots based. So आमचे studies सुद्धा आम्ही केल्या आहेत practical. So this is about the association. So we our opinion की आमका अजून पर्यंत गव्हर्नमेंटातल्यान जाय तसो engagement घेवना for the committee, especially I don't say government, but for the DRS committee, we have been asking for engagement with all stakeholders. And our request at the end of this press conference also will be the same to engage more stakeholders. The scheme, as it is proposed, is not going to solve any of the waste management problems, or rather going to complicate more things. Some issues which we are raising are not addressed. So that we are again requesting this scheme needs to be deferred by at least 3 or 6 months and get all stakeholders, including the waste management association, so that we can pose our concerns. When we say waste management association, we are representing almost more than 2,000 at least garbage workers, self-help groups who are working in the sector. So some of the issues, everybody, see DRS, like isolated systems of China, the pet bottles are getting, so the waste is not isolated problem of only pet bottles. So जे आमकां सांगले गेला की DRS गेल्यार सगळो पब्लीक वेस्टेज रिसोर्स जातलो कसो जावचो ना आनी ह्या स्टडी वयल्यान सांगपाक शकता कॉन्फिडेंटली. सो almost 3,000-4,000 people's jobs are at stake. So we just want proper engagement before government proceeds with. This is all I want to say.
ओके. तुम्ही एसोसिएशन म्हणटा न्ही तेन्ना चडशे मेंबर कोण आसा गोवन बेस्ड जे कोण आसात ते काय कशें कितें?
आमचे मेंबरशिपाचे क्रायटेरिया आमी थोडे डिफायन केल्यात. सी गोवन तांचे ऑफिस आसपा जाय, मिनिमम 3 वर्सां एक्सपिरियन्स आसपा जाय. सो वी हॅव अ क्रायटेरिया फॉर मेंबरशीप. वॉट वी वॉन्ट इज एज ऑफ नाव सी वी आर ऑल्सो एनकरेजिंग unorganized players to become members so they get streamlined. The reality is most of the waste in Goa is still managed by an unorganized sector. I can't be denied that question now. So the effort of this association is to get them streamlined. So आमचे सध्या members असतात ते all registered companies in Goa.
हो प्रश्न कित्याक विचारला हांवें, तुमी म्हणटा DRS जेन्ना हे येतले सो हो खंय तरी गेटवे आसतलो काय म्हणून आउट ऑफ गोवा कोण जर हे करपाक सोदता तांचे खातीर काय म्हणून हो हेच्या खातीर विचारला.
एज ऑफ नाव आतां तरी ज्या रितीन DRS स्कीम प्रपोज केल्या इट इज गोइंग टू मोनोपोलाइज द सिस्टम. वॉट यू आर सेइंग इज कंप्लीटली रायट. आज ज्या रितीन DRS इम्प्लिमेंट करपाक मुखार वता इट इज गोइंग टू मोनोपोलाइज द सिस्टम ऑपरेटेड विल बी वन. Whereas right now there are more than 300 small or big players who are managing waste in different sectors. जेन्ना DRS implement जाता फक्त pet bottle खातीर which is a high value recyclable, that will probably monopolize only one vendor. तो majority जो high valuable recyclable आसा तो consume करतलो अशें आमकां दिसता. We are not in principle against the DRS concept. पूण आमी जशें भितरान सांगलां की तातूंत DRS आन बाकीच्यो सगळ्यो ज्यो लिडर जाता त्यो कांय ऑर्डर्स सॉल्व जाता. सो इट मे बी वी आर नॉट कमेंटिंग ऑन वेदर इट्स अ गेटवे और वी आर नॉट इन पोजिशन टू नो द डिटेल. दॅट्स वॉट वी वॉन्ट मोर क्लॅरिटी ऑन द होल इम्प्लिमेंटेशन सिस्टम.
पूण जेन्ना तुमकां कोणाकूच कॉन्फिडन्सान घेतलेच ना एज अ एसोसिएशन, तुमी रजिस्टर्ड एसोसिएशन आसा बट आनी तांकां जेन्ना अशे तरेन आमी पळयता की बाकीचे इश्यूज आसा थंय गोवा बेस्ड जी एसोसिएशन आसा टॅक्सी इश्यूज जावं आनी कितें तांकां इन कॉन्फिडन्स घेवन फुडें सरता. सो हाजेर तुमकां केन्ना आपयलेंच ना.
एज फार एज DRS इज कन्सर्न आमकां अजून पर्यंत तितलो हें करूं ना. खुबश्या मॅटरांनी आमकां आमच्या ओपिनियनान डिफरंट आतां आमी घेवपाक चालू केलां. फॉर एग्जाम्पल गोवा वेस्ट मॅनेजमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन, पोल्युशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड, वी आर इन टच विथ देम फॉर डिफरंट पॉलिसी मॅटर्स. बट एज फार एज DRS इज कन्सर्न our association we have requested for many meetings but आमकां अजून पर्यंत जाय तशें engagement being part of meeting is one thing but taking our association's opinions and addressing them that has not been done.
बाबूस मंजरात मिनिस्टर रावता सो तांचे कडेन बी कितें उलोवप जाता जावं पत्र वेव्हार कितें जालो.
सो आमी सगळ्यांक
दिसता DRS स्किमाचेर आमी पयली एप्रोच जाल्ले टू द कन्सर्न डिपार्टमेंट more than 1.5 days. It was my committee. आमकां सांगा ते आमकां आयकता ते तशें बरें रावचें ना. तेणी आमकां रिप्लाय करूना नॉर दे दे इनवायट अस. सो that is very clear. Only in the last 3 months, correct?
Yeah, but the thing is, this system is not being implemented in the waste management department. So there is confusion in that also. Who is the implementing authority? So there is right now only an authority, which we understand. But in there is confusion. So आमी तुमकां सारकें क्लॅरिटी आमी दिवपाक शकता कित्याक आमकां खबर ना. There is one authority for Goa environmental authority, which is the committee as of now. It is not even been converted to authority to implement the system. So आमी कोणाक एप्रोच करचें हें आमकां एक्झॅक्टली खबर ना. So we have made representations to all, but as far as I know, waste management ministry is not directly involved in this. So we have made our copies to all the ministries concerned.
तुम्ही अपोज करता ही
ना इन प्रिंसिपल आमी ही अपोज करना सिस्टम. आमचे ओपिनियन एकूणान सांगता तशें की आमकां कन्सल्ट करचें. देर आर मेनी इश्यूज दॅट नीड टू बी रिजॉल्व just implementing in its current format will not solve the problem of what they are saying. What general public is understanding is की BIS आहे की रस्त्यावर कचरा कमी जातो, कचरा कमी जातो आणि बेसिकली जितने जनरल परसेप्शन आणि दुसरे ओपिनियन एक्सट्रीम ओपिनियन झाला की BIS आणि कंझ्युमरचा कॉस्ट वाढतो आणि अदर नेगेटिव्ह साईड. सो एक्सट्रीम पॉझिटिव्ह साईड आणि एक्सट्रीम नेगेटिव्ह साईड प्रेझेंट झाली असतात. बट देर आर लॉट्स ऑफ ग्रे एरियाज विच आर नॉट कवर्ड. म्हणजे आमचे कितें स्टेकहोल्डर्स कितें द वर्कर्स हू आर वर्किंग तांकां कशें बेनिफीट जातले, तांचो कितलो लॉस जातलो. सो देर आर nobody has understood how panchayat contracts work, how municipalities contracted work. So any system being implemented.
असे कितले वर्कर्स कितले आहा गोंयांत अशे असोसिएशन कितले वर्कर्स अशे डिपेंड
आमचे असोसिएशनान आमचा अराउंड 2,000 to 3,000 workers असतात.
गोवन
Workers may be different. Workers like
And also there are sector of informal workers as well. They work in scrap yards, they collect the waste, they go road to road. So we have concern about them as well, and also workers who are working in MRFs, set of workers who are doing collections, house to house collections. So we really want to know how this system will work for them, if it will affect on their livelihoods. So they are saying that they will onboard informal sector of workers, but we really want to know the strategy for it, how many workers they will appoint, what will be the system for them, and also how the system will work with informal sector of workers. Because right now, as sir said, mainly the waste littering of Goa is handled by only informal sector of workers and scrapyard owners. So we have concern towards them as well.
It is very clear, सगळे दिसता, be it in the municipality or in the village panchayat, जे कचरो डोलो कलेक्ट करता, ते are from the very lowest strata of society. तो गोंयांत खूब कमी आसा, maybe 10%. So ते सगळे, but their main income is not only the salary. Their main income is this selling of this. So हे जर तेंचे काढले, ते काम करपाक कोण करतले? Which means ते डोलो कलेक्शन करपाक ते म्हणून आमकां उपकारना. आनी म्युनिसिपॅलिटी आनी पंचायती कडेन हे हे करपाक ऑल्टरनेट फंड करपाक पयशे आसा की ना जाणा जावपाक जाय. सो आफ्टर
तसोच एक प्रश्न आहा. तुम्ही म्हणल्यार आतां तो विकून तांकां पयशे तरी एटलीस्ट मेळटा, पण आमी पळयता की गव्हर्मेंटा वटेनच्यान तांकां पेमेंटूय खूब डिले जाता. खूब आमी पळयता की एकदां तांकां आमी पळयता कर सुद्दां कलेक्ट जायना, कारण तांकां पयशे दिनात. म्हयन्यान 2-2 म्हयने 3-3 म्हयने तांकां पेमेंट पडना. सो एटलीस्ट हेजेर तरी ते कितें तरी करताले, पूण ते बंद जाले जाल्यार मागीर सगळो मिसमॅनेजमेंट.
it will affect in the long run. So it has to be approached holistically, which means there is a way to introduce it, but not when you take high value items. See, like तुवें विचारलें तें सारकें. आतां हे सगळ्यो वस्तू जर JRS जाले कोण घेतलो? एकूच पार्टी घेतली. तूं कोणू पाटली घेवन हे घेवन, you have to give it to that one vendor. So he becomes the sole owner of all this, correct? So a rag picker, आता थोडं विकता, जर today's market rate is 25 rupees a kg. तो म्हणटलो आपणाक 5 रुपयाक दी, because there is nobody to else to sell. On this there is no clarity. आमकां कळना.
सर एज अ एसोसिएशन आमी एक मुद्दो एक केलो. सरकार इवन जे मावन दिना आतां वाव प्लांटाचेर उलयताले, ताचेर आमी एक इशू पयलो सद्या रिसेंटली. ताचेर तुमचें एज अ एसोसिएशन कितें?
These are MRFs, material recovery facilities, which the government has set up. Now, what is the arrangement the government has set them up individually is different. There are contractors, right? The contractors are the mucho plants I will not name the plant. There are workers who are working. So our concern is of that waste collection. How the plant.
See, what is the rate you're getting right now?
Yes.
There is a lot of confusion right now, which I think that can be addressed. Is for one, the DRS system is not hiring any workers. Okay, I think you only
Yes, correct. Yes, correct.
So essentially, you can collect it, and if you dispose of the waste, you get the money. So there is no job loss. One, from what I understood, I could be wrong. But also I'd like to know what happens when you all collect this waste. Where does it go?
There is one big confusion on the scrap value and deposit value.
Yeah.
This can has a scrap value of 185 rupees per kg. Aluminium can has a rate of 185 rupees a kg. This plastic bottle has a scrap rate of around 44 rupees a kg. This is today's rate. Now, DRS is not talking about this at all. They are talking about deposit. You pay 5 rupees, 10 rupees, and then when you return it, you get the money back. You are making 0. The scrap value is still there. Who is getting the scrap value? Is the system operator only. No one is talking about that part. What we are saying is, if the system operator is not employing any persons and we have to do the work for them, then give us some of the scrap value. What they are offering us today is very little. We are still negotiating with them. But what the point of the matter is that these few things is subsidizing our operational cost across Goa. You remove these things, then managing the remaining waste becomes very expensive for us. Today we are spending around 25 rupees per kg to dispose sanitary waste responsibly. We are spending around 5 rupees per kg to dispose the RDF waste. Tomorrow if this is gone, how do we cover our cost? Because in many places MRFs are not being paid any money, they have to recover their income from the material itself.
Also at the same time, how this digitized system will work for waste workers, especially informal, that is also a question.
The smartphone
Illiterate people as well sometimes, so there is confusion there as well.
It is not only for the waste worker. Into a small household where they don't, the lady of the house doesn't have a phone, smartphone. So how does she get this money back? ते पोतेचे नळेचे पैसे कसे मिळतात त्याच्यापर्यंत? ती घेऊन गाडी कधी वळली? So it is taxing more to everybody. Instead of it being easier, making life easier for everybody, it is going to make life very difficult if those proceeds.
सर फायनल एक्सपेक्टेशन कितें आसा तुमचे एसोसिएशन?
तुम्ही सोल्युशन कितें आहा म्हणटा?
सजेशन्स कितें दिता?
आमचे सजेशन एक आसा. One is that don't put these items in DRS which is already solved. If you go to see 70-80% are already collect jata. Whether government is involved or not, it is already being collected. What we are suggesting is you put things like MLP, which is a problem, which government has accepted, but they said we will do in second phase. Second phase we can do it in the first phase. Then what we have said is multi-stakeholder. Now we are talking all of this. Consumer, who is the biggest person in the who's paying the money, has not been consulted. So we have to have a multi-stakeholder consultation. And for all of this, 1st April is just hardly 2 weeks away. We are asking that it should be deferred at least 6 months to 1 year, so that we have time to properly put a proper DRS.
Another request is that our suggestion is that please implement this single-use plastic ban. Single-use plastic that is causing the major problem. Introduce that ban. So when that ban is introduced, we'll find alternatives. लोक आपला पिशव्यो घेतात, दोघांनी किती केलं. So ते बंद केल्यार आमचे खूप open wasteचे पुढे जातात. आणि like what we have already spoken about, diapers and sanitary pads. Their disposal cost is huge. 25 रुपया per kg. So 2 diaper use जाते की 1 किलो. So those are the areas that government has to see what रस्त्यावर दिसतात. एक single use plastic and diapers and sanitary pads. हे पुढे सगळे दिसतात. Those have to be addressed first. Yes, this is good, but how this is going to be implemented and how it is going to affect the consumer and the waste collector is something that has not been considered. Is because we are working for the last more than 20 years, and we have ground reality. कामगार असतात ते